Hello, my name is Manuel Gonzalez. I'm Albuquerque Poet Laureate Emeritus, and all that really means is I like to write poems. And I'm here today to go through a writing exercise with you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about poetry, about the kind of poetry that I do. I'm going to share a couple poems with you, and then we're going to get to write together. Now, this writing exercise that I have is going to be anywhere from if you're a sixth grader or older, even if you're a senior citizen, this one will work for you because this writing exercise is about looking into who you are, where you come from, what you represent, and what things in the world put together make you who you are. So you're gonna need at least a pen and a pencil or some paper or a computer or I don't know, a crayon and a napkin, but whatever you got, we're gonna get you to write a little bit. I want you to put your words into something like a paper or somewhere you can see because we're gonna write some poetry today. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the kind of poetry that I do. Now, the kind of poetry that I do is about emotions and feelings. It's about looking within yourself and figuring out how you feel and why you feel that way. See, when I was young and in school, I was a knucklehead. And when I say a knucklehead, I mean I used to think with my knuckles a lot, and I got into a lot of trouble. I got in trouble at home. I got in trouble at school. I even got in trouble with the law, and it's not because I was a bad person. It's not because there was something wrong with me. It's not because I needed to be punished or in some way taught a lesson. What it was is there was stuff in my life, stuff in my house, stuff that was going on to me and around me, and that stuff hurt. I didn't really want to talk about it, and I didn't want nobody to know that that stuff was going on in my life and in my house, so I hid from it, and I took that stuff and I pushed it down. And when you take that stuff that hurts you and you push it down and don't look at it, when you take that stuff you're embarrassed of and you push that down and don't think about it, that stuff inside of you can get hotter and heavier and harder to carry, and eventually it'll explode and you find yourself out doing males. You're doing bad things, not because you're a bad person, but because you didn't look at that stuff that we all carry around with us in that way. And it wasn't until I sat down and started writing out what was going on inside of me, looking inside my heart in an authentic and sincere way, and start writing about what those feelings were and why they felt that way. That's when I stopped making those mistakes, getting in that trouble and doing those bad things. I found a healthy and positive way to deal with what was going on inside me. All I'm really trying to say is it's better to write a poem about why you're angry and what makes you mad than to bust your knuckles punching the wall. That's kind of where I had to come from. So this poem I'm going to recite for you is just a poem about being from Albuquerque, because I'm proud to be from Albuquerque. And so those of us from Albuquerque don't always say Albuquerque. Sometimes we say Burque. And so this poem is about that. The title of this poem is My Friends Call Me Burque. With watermelon mountains melting misconceptions, with crazy loco dreams and contemplative confessions, I watch cholos chasing chicas. They're living mi vida loca like the ancient Mexica, with kickback khakis to camouflage clown faces. We smile now, but we cry later. And I watch breakdancing b-boys battling the crossfader. My name is Albuquerque, but my friends call me Burque, as my mother makes masa with flour and manteca, rolling out her tortillas and scraping her spices in a molcajete like the ancient Azteca, as Tolteca knowledge is passed down from our grandfathers, and my mother lights a candle for La Virgen de Guadalupe. My name is Albuquerque, but my friends call me Burque, as the sands of the santuario silently calls the sound for my soul, and the patience and perseverance of the penitentes plant the seed that will one day make me whole, and the legions of Mary who pray the rosary for humanity who don't have enough time to bend their own knees. My name is Albuquerque, but my friends call me Burque. Listening to Saturday morning traditions played by musicians, the founding fathers of my self-image, those rancheras and cumbias and boleros sung with the teardrop on their vocal cords. Y volver, volver, volver. My my name is Albuquerque, but my friends call me Burke. And I'm looking at a Trisco and I'm thinking about land grants and I'm wondering if our kids even have a chance as day turns to night and they begin to dance. You know, I was named after a duke who never left Spain, and being junior without knowing your father brings a lot of pain. My name is Albuquerque, but my friends call me Burke. Thank you. Now, that poem was about who I was and where I come from. Because I come from Albuquerque, but that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Today, I want you to think about who you are, where you come from. What images and things in the world put together make you who you are. Like, see, me, there's people who have taught me lessons about who I am and where I come from. Like I come from my grandfather who taught me to judge myself and my manhood by how well I treat the women in my life. These are lessons that I learned that make me who I am today. I want you to start thinking about your lessons, about the places you've been, the music you listen to, the food you eat. All of these things put together make you that unique and beautiful individual that you are. And today we're going to write about it. All right, you guys, now it's time for us to start. Now, when I start to write, it's always hard for me to begin. Looking at a blank paper always kind of gets me nervous, and it's hard for me to pull those ideas out of the sky. So what we're going to do first is we're going to write a list. Now, don't get scared. We're not even going to worry about sentences yet. You're just writing a list. And when I say a list, I mean just 1 or 2 words to remind you of kind of what you're thinking about. And I'm going to tell you what to put on that list. So this is going to be easy as sitting down and eating a piece of cake. I'm telling you, this is fun. Okay, now, the first thing I want you to put on this list is any place you've ever called home. If you're from Albuquerque, put Albuquerque. If you were born someplace else and then you moved here, you can put the someplace else and then you can put here. It doesn't matter. You can even put grandma's house if you want to. What's important is you think of all the places you've ever called home and put them on this list. Now, I want you to write it there now. You have 5 seconds to do it. You better write it quick. 4 seconds, you got to write down every place you've ever called home. Think of it now. 3 seconds, write it down. It's almost done. 2 seconds, write it almost. Oh, 1. Almost home. I'm going to put Albuquerque. And then Albuquerque is a hard word to spell. It's Albuquerque. See, it's hard for me to get all those letters out, but I just thought maybe that's a good way to stall to give you some more time to think about the places you live. The next thing we're going to put on this list is family. Now, I'm not saying you got to write everybody in your family that you're related to, because for some of us, that can be a long list. Now, I'm saying I want you to think about the people that are close to you, that are important to you, that have taught you something, that have in some way shared part of who they are with you. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a blood relative, meaning like somebody that you're related to, like because they're in your family. It could be they're your family because you trust them so much, it's almost like they're in your family. These are people I want you to put here. Now, the question I always get here at this part is, sir, do I write my mom's name or do I write mom? I don't care. This is your poem and you get to say what you're writing. My mother's name is Beatriz, and if I could write Beatriz, I could write mom, I could write mother, whatever you want. This is your list. Now, you got about 5 seconds to think about all those people that are important to you. Just about 4 more seconds to write this down. I'm even talking about, that cochino uncle that tells you the dirty jokes that you shouldn't laugh at, but you laugh at them because they're funny, but you don't tell nobody because they're inappropriate. That guy, put him on your list. Anybody that you think of, anybody that pops into your head, I want you to write them on your list now. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we did family. Your next step is food. Now, I'm gordo. I could write about food all day. So I want you to write down what your favorite food is. You know what? My favorite food is this weird stuff. It's called baklava. It's like a pastry that has like it's honey and nuts and good stuff. And every bite is just like, And so I don't really know how to spell baklava. So I'm just going to do my best. And I want you to do your best too. It doesn't matter if you spell it right or wrong right now. What's important is that you know what word you're trying to say. And I put baklava down because I really like that stuff. But now I'm going to throw you for a crazy. Now, I want you to think about that one dish your grandmother cooks. Nobody else on earth makes like she does. My grandma makes I'm going to put enchiladas. Now, if your grandma doesn't cook for you, that's okay. Don't worry. All you got to do is think about something that was homemade. Who made it? What was it? Write it down. That's important. See, what's cool about grandma's food is not only is it connected to grandma's love and how those warm, fuzzy feelings you come into your heart when you think about that food, it also kind of connects us to our past in some way or our family story in some way. So I want you to think of not only your favorite food, but whatever your grandma cooked or something homemade that was made that you loved. Okay, that was food. Now, our next topic is music. Now, when you write a list on the topic of music, you can write your favorite song. My favorite song, I'm gonna put what's my favorite song today? Because that can change from day to day. Today, I think I'm gonna put Oye Como Va. My favorite artist, Santana did that song. The favorite genre of music. See, some of us like hip hop, some of us like rap, some of us like country. Whatever genre that's not how you spell genre, but that's okay. Whatever genre you like, and I'm just, because Santana played rock music, I'm gonna put that there. Okay, now you don't have to put all these, you can pick one, but another one is if you play an instrument, I want you to write the name of that instrument here, and I'll put flute. I play a lot of different instruments, but that's the one I put there. Now, after you put that on your list, I'm gonna throw you for another crazy. What kind of music do your parents listen to? Now, you can write a song you hear when you're in the car, the stuff you listened to before you were big enough to choose what you listened to in the car. What were you hearing? What was it? My mom liked rancheras. And that's what I put as the music that my parents listened to. Now, the next one is number 5, and it's beauty. Now, let me tell you what I want you to do. I want you to pick 3 things that you've seen with your own eyes that are beautiful in nature. See, sometimes I get up in the morning and I take my Hita to school, and when I'm going to take her to school, a roadrunner would stop on the side of the street and stop and look at me. And I knew it was going to be a good day because that happened to me, and I was just going to get excited. So one of the things I could put is roadrunner. But what kind of things have you seen that are beautiful? I'm talking about like sunsets or the way when it rains and the sun still shines through the rain and they look like little diamonds in the air. I don't know what kind of beautiful things you've seen. You can even talk about clouds or when it snows or whatever, but it's something you've seen with your very own eyes that was pretty outside, and I'm not here to tell you what it is. I'm putting roadrunner, sunsets, and snow. I think those are 3 beautiful things that I've seen with my own eyes. Okay, now the next thing is, have you or your family, oops, this is number 7, I started to write the word, have anything you would call a tradition? Now, traditions are things that we do over and over again. Some of them are connected to our family. Like my family sometimes walks to the Santuario for Good Friday, and we get dirt from that little hole in the back of the church like that. Or have you ever seen luminarias for Christmas? See, sometimes traditions are connected to our holidays in that way. Or maybe sometimes they're connected to our culture. Has your family ever done a quinceañera? Or do you guys get together in the summertime? I know we didn't really do it much this summer, but have you ever gotten together in the summertime and had a barbecue? These are traditions. I like BBQ because I love to eat barbecue, and that just kind of gets me excited to think about those traditions. But maybe everybody in your family, some people have like even work that's in their family. Like my dad was a police officer, his dad was a police officer, stuff like that happens. Whatever you would call a tradition. Maybe everybody in your family goes to college, that's a tradition. Anything, maybe every Tuesday your mom takes you to get ice cream. That's a tradition. Anything you do over and over again, hunting, fishing, whatever, it's a tradition. If you can think of a tradition your family does, write it down now. Now the next thing that we're gonna write about is kind of weird. It's we're going to talk about culture. Now, when I say culture, I want you to write down your ancestry. See, I consider myself to be Chicano, and a Chicano was an American of Mexican descent. So if I were writing about what my ancestry was, I could write the word Chicano, or I could write Mexican, I could write American, I could write, we all have shared ancestry. If you want to go all the way back to Australopithecus and put cavemen, you can do that. But what I want you to think about is who your ancestry is. Now, if you're one of those English, Irish, German people, that's cool. You can put all the different cultures that are part of your ancestry, and you can put them all there. And so that's cool. I think that's fun that we have more than one choice when it comes to looking into who we are. I want you to tell me who your people are. And if you don't know who your people are, that's okay. You can think about, like, maybe you're from the United States. And have you ever heard your family talk about how your family came to be to the United States? Where did they come from? I don't know. Or if you think your family's always been here, you can write that. I want you to think about who your people are. Or what pops into your head when you think of culture. For me, I think of food, like culture is reflected in tamales and tacos and enchiladas. Or culture is reflected into art. I hear music, I see dancing, I hear poetry. This is all part of my culture. So when I put culture, I'm going to put music and food. Now, I just realized something. Music and food are very vague terms. Like, music can be anything. So when I say music, I'm going to say, I don't know how to spell mariachis, but I'm going to do my best. Mariachis, I think that's right. I put mariachi music, that's part of my culture. And when I say food, you know what? I'm going to put green chili, because it's always better to be specific. Now, the next thing on our list is, I want you to think about way back. But first, I want you to make a list of happy emotions, a whole list of them. So 9, I'm going to say emotions. Now, when I say happy emotions, I mean happy is one, or joy, or love. I love love. Or excitement. Just, if you can think of any words for happy emotions, that's what I want you to write now. I'm going to give you just a couple seconds because I want you to put more than one. And I want you to think about those times when you had a smile on your face and things were good and you were just jumping and happy and dancing and things were good. What was that called? How do you call it? Now, kind of along the same lines, I want you to think of a memory that's connected to those happy memories. Now, check it out. It's like this. I want you to think about way back to when you were short. I mean little kid. I mean like mocos in your nose, a smile on your face, and the sun was shining. When I was like that, I remember my grandma used to make tortillas. And she would sometimes save a little ball of masa for me to play with, like Play-Doh. Like, it was just for me. I got to play with it. Or sometimes she would take a little ball of masa and make me just a little tortilla that was just for me. When I was 5 years old, I thought that was so special and I loved my little tortilla. And these are memories that I have of my grandmother that make me smile, that bring that warm, fuzzy feeling to my heart. I want you to think of something that you remember from when you were little that brings you any of those happy emotions, the joy, the love, the excitement. I want you to write down something that reminds you of what that story is. Now, you don't have to write full sentences or the whole story right now. I just wrote grandma's tortillas to remind me of that. So that's what I did. Now, the next thing I want you to think of is, I want you to think of, number 10, is negative emotions. Sometimes negative emotions are like fear, hate, depression, heartbroken. I don't know if that's a word, but I just wrote it now. Heart. Because if you've ever had your heart broken, you know how that hurts. Disappointment. Okay, I want you to make a list of negative emotions. Maybe it's something that you wish never happened and it hurts and you don't really talk about it a lot. Once you're done making a list of the negative emotions, I want you to think about that same mocoso we were talking about before, the same little kid that we were talking about that was happy. I want you to think of a painful memory, something that hurts, something that maybe you wish you never did and you wish you could take back, something you wish you never said and you wish you could take back. Maybe it's something that happened in front of you and you wish you never saw. Maybe it's something that happened to you and you wish it never happened. I want you to write down something that reminds you of a negative emotion. For me, my sister died, and it's a hurt. Grief is my negative emotion that I'm talking about here, and I'm going to write that down as a painful emotion that I carry with me. Now, I want you to do that too. I'm going to give you a couple moments to do that. And I want you to be real. See, now's the time where it's time to be authentic, to be sincere, to write something that's real. I'm going to give you a couple more moments. 3, 2, 1. Now, the next thing we're doing here is I want you to think about something you believe in, something you'd stand up for, something that's important to you, something that would make your voice be heard about. Me, I believe in things. Hold on, I gotta write beliefs. BELIEFS. And I believe in things like truth, justice, integrity. These are things that I believe in. Maybe you believe in certain causes that you would fight for. People fight for the environment. Maybe you could even write about your spiritual beliefs here. What's important these are things that you're passionate about, things that are important to you. Maybe it's family, maybe it's animals, maybe it's nature, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's civil rights, whatever that's important to you. I want you to write down here under the section of beliefs. Okay, now the next one we're going to do, and don't worry because it's the last thing on our list, but it does have 5 parts to it. The thing is, I want you to think of something beautiful. Maybe it's something you own. Maybe it's your favorite dream car that you want to have someday. Maybe it's a flower. Maybe you can go back and look at one of those things you wrote down of beauty in nature. I don't care, but I want you to pick the most beautiful thing you can think of. And don't worry, just whatever pops into your head right now, that's what I want you to use. And I want you to pick something beautiful. And then I want you to use your 5 senses. Now that means, what are our 5 senses? Sight. You can tell me what color it is. Or anything about what it looks like. Sound. Does it make you think of music? Do you ever hear things when you're around that object? Does it make any noise in and of itself? Now, touch. What does it feel like? Or maybe when you're seeing that beautiful sunset, you can feel the wind brushing against your hair or something, some sort of texture. The next one is smell. That one's always funny. What smells do you smell? But maybe it reminds you of the smell of your mother's cooking or a good cup of tea late at night when you can't fall asleep. A smell that it connects you in some way to that object. I'm gonna put perfume. And then, which one am I missing? Sight, sound, touch, smell, taste. See, people always start to giggle when I talk about well, what does, I don't know, a sunset taste like? A sunset can taste like honey dripping off your tongue at that moment of beauty when you can sit and savor it, and that moment can last forever. Taste are just things that remind you of that sight or that thing that you're looking at. It can be something delicious, or maybe even something that is hot and it bites your tongue because there's still a little bit of pain connected to that beauty. I want you to be the poet, and you can decide what tastes are connected to your object. I'm gonna put hot or sweet. And now I'm going to give you just a couple more moments to finish your list. Now, If you need to, now is a great time to pause the video and look at the list that I made and make sure that you have everything that's on this list. I'm going to go over it right now really quickly. Number one was home, and anything that you've ever called home, any place you've ever been, home. Number two was family. These are people that are important to you, that have shared something with you. Number three is food, your favorite food. What do you like to eat? And that one homemade dish that just is delicious. Number four is music. What kind of music you like? And what kind of music do your parents listen to? Number five are three things that are beautiful in nature, but you got to have seen them with your own eyes. I've got my numbers all mixed up, but number six would be a tradition that your family does. The next one would be what pops into your mind when you think of your ancestry or your culture. The next thing is I want you to list positive emotions and a positive memory from when you were real little. The next one was I want you to list negative emotions and a painful memory from when you were little or just any time before today. Number 11 is things that you believe in, things that are important to you, things you'd stand up for. And number 12 is you're using your five senses to think of five things connected to something beautiful. Anything. Just the most beautiful thing you could think of that pops into your head right now. Now, I want you to do all that, and if you missed some, that's okay. And if you have some that went really, really long, that's okay too, because we're about to move on to the next step, and the next step will be the writing. Okay, now what I need you to do is I need you to get your list and put it somewhere where you can see it. Because what we're going to write is going to be taken from this list. At the top of your new page, I want you to write the phrase, I come from. And then I challenge you. I want you to write something about who you are and where you come from, what you represent and what things in the world make you who you are. I want you to take the images from this list and turn it into something you would call poetry. Now, I've done this I Come From poem a few times, and I'm going to show you the I Come From poem that I wrote. And all I really did was I took images from my list and I turned them into sentences that began with the phrase, I come from. Now, my poem rhymes. Let me tell you some stuff about what you're about to write. If you want to use the phrase I come from, you are welcome to do it just the way I did it, and you can use your images to plug in there. But you don't have to use the phrase I come from at all if that's not how you want to do it. You're the artist, you're the poet. You get to decide how you're going to express yourself. What's important is that you take the images from the list and turn them into sentences about who you are in an authentic way. Now, I'm going to share my I Come From poem. This is what I did. I come from wind and rain. I come from tears and pain. I come from infinity and energy, confusion and simplicity. I come from words mixed with willpower. I come from chicharrones and lotus flower. I come from music and corazon, war and revolucion. I come from deep within the earth like a didgeridoo's drone, braided with the shoes of a flamenquera, palmas and cajon. I come from Santuario sand and the Tecato's wound, howling coyotes and shadow of the moon. I come from history's interpretations and the realities of the past. I come from then and now, the first and the last. I come from conquest and war, Mother Earth, an eagle's wing, a serpent on a cactus. I come from the deepest reaches of the infinite Nagual to the fallacy of reality veiling the eyes of us all, because I come from Barelas and Martinez Town, San Jose and Duranes, Los Padillas and the Bosque, because I come from Burque mixed with the glimmer in my father's eye and the light in my mother's womb. I come from again. This infinite cycle will never end. I come from watermelon mountains, spitting seeds at the sun. I come from demons and darkness that I just can't outrun. I come from my father's talent and my mother's spirituality. I come from a revolutionary mind and a rebel mentality. I come from paper mache piñatas filled with prizes that can change your mind. I come from people who are mestizo, mixing all of humankind. I come from drunken rancheras, sung from the heart at matanzas or weddings or just because lovers are apart. I come from warm tortillas, loving my tias, the water of the Rio Grande, the love of mi madre, bleeding hearts and book smarts. I come from music, dancing, art. You ask me where I come from? Psh, I don't even know where to start. Thank you. Now, what I want you to do is to start thinking about who you are and where you come from. Now, you are welcome to use images in your life that are not on this list. If there's something on your mind that you want to start talking about, maybe you're from the Gold Flake in the lowrider cruising down the road. I don't know, whoever you are. If you don't know where to start, I want you to look at this list. And there's things on this list that are part of who you are and where you come from. That's where I want you to start. Now, this list doesn't have to be in any order. If you want to start coming from, I come from my beliefs in, and you tell me what you believe in, and you tell me where you come from. That's a good place to start. Or even, I come from food. Whatever you want to start coming from, that's all right. Now, I want you to start writing now because I'm not going to stop talking for the next few minutes because that's just kind of how I do it. It's okay for you to talk for you to write right now while I'm talking. Some of the best sentences that came from students that did this I come from exercise with me were things like I come from the dust on my grandfather's boots. I like that one. I think that one's cool. Or I come from my mama's panza. There's no wrong way to do this. You just got to tell me who you are and where you come from. Do not write, I come from enchiladas. That's not what I want you to do. I want you to write, I come from my grandma's green chili chicken enchiladas that are so hot, I gotta build the courage to take the next bite, but I'm not gonna let none of it go to waste. That's what I want you to write. It's about the details. It's about the truth that you can put into your words right now. Don't write, I come from hip hop. Right? I come from hip hop where the bass booms and my head nods, where the lyrics are intricate and intelligent and they leave me thinking or feeling. That's where the truth is. Now, I want you to look into who you are and where you come from. And nobody's life is all puppy dogs and rainbows. And sometimes you had to go through some hard stuff, some difficult things, some painful memories to get to where you are today. And that dark stuff is part of who you are too. So it's okay to come from the depression when you don't want to get out of bed, where the sun doesn't shine and the shadows follow you everywhere you go. That's what makes us real. Is when you balance the positive and the negative and talk about, I come from those days when my parents are fighting in the next room and they think I can't hear it, but I hear everything that they say and it hurts. It's okay to come from those things. But at the same time, nobody's life is all darkness and shadows. There's something beautiful in your life. What color is it? Write it down. This is what I want you to do now. I want you to write something real, something authentic, something you would call poetry. And I want you to write it about who you are, where you come from, and what you represent. Now keep writing. Don't stop. Think about things that aren't on that list that are important to you. We didn't talk about friends. We didn't talk about the things you do when you go out to have fun back when we used to go outside. I want you to write about the memories you have and the things that are precious to you, the friends that you have that you tell all your secrets to. I want you to look into your life and find the things that make you who you are and write about those things. Now, I'm going to give you just a few more minutes, so I'm going to invite you to pause the video now. And then I want you to use as much time as you need to finish something you would call a poem that encompasses images from your life. These are things that make you who you are. The music you hear, the movies you watch, the books you read, the places you go, the dances you dance. These are the things I want you to put in here. So pause it now until you fully and completely expressed yourself and told us who you are. Pause it now. Now is going to be time for us to share. And in my opinion, that's the most important part of this writing exercise, is when we find somebody to listen to our poetry. See, when I used to write, poetry was something private and personal, and I kept it to myself, and I was kind of embarrassed to show it to my friends because I was afraid that my homies would clown me for writing, I don't know, poetry and stuff like that. But once I started to share what I wrote with my friends, they showed me respect. And then eventually it got to the point where it was like, hey Manuel, will you write that girl a poem so that I could tell her that I wrote it and maybe she'll like me? So I tried to get dates for my friends with poetry, but it didn't always work, but it was a good reason to write. What I'm trying to say is, I want you to find as many people as you possibly can to listen to you recite your poem. But I'm going to force you to find at least 3. I want you to find 3 people that will let you listen, that will let you read you their poem. Read them your poem. I want you to read it to them, and I want you to be sincere. And I want you to be real. And I want you to say it like it's important to you. I want you to say those words like it's part of who you are and where you come from. Because in my opinion, the most important part of poetry is sharing, because when you stand up and claim your truth and share it in a sincere and authentic way, we begin to see the humanity within each other in that way, because we share a lot of the same struggles. We share a lot of the same pride and understand that things that are beautiful to all of us a lot of the time. And so when we start to share our poetry and hear each other's stories, we start to see the humanity within each other. And that's how we fight racism and sexism and homophobia and transphobia, and all the bad things in the world can be destroyed by seeing that we are all human beings, that we all have hearts that pump blood through our veins. We all have emotions, and our stories have value and they have power. So I invite you to please find 3 people that you can share your poem with. And I bet you if you find some of those people that you wrote in the poem, like if you wrote a sentence about your mom, oh, it's just gonna melt her heart to hear you say it. I want you to find those people who would gain something from hearing your poem and share it with them like you mean it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for setting the time to listen to me. Thank you for letting yourself be vulnerable and write something real and sincere and true. And thank you for sharing what you wrote. I hope you got something out of this. And if you didn't, the only thing I hope you take from this is that writing can be fun. Writing can heal you. Writing can make it so that other people see the real you. It can give you a voice. And it can make it so that the pain and bruises that you carry on your heart, you can help ease that pain a little bit by putting them on the paper instead of carrying them in your heart. Thank you so much.